on again.
Hey everybody. Today we're going to be talking about Tedeschi Trucks Band, which I think it's a good time to talk about this band.
I agree.
Yeah, because there's so much craziness going on in our country right now with the George Floyd murder a week and a half ago and all the protests and that's all the stuff that's going on. Tedeschi Trucks, we were planning it out to do it today. Our 5 favorite songs from each of us, which we do not know which those are from each other. But again, it's just a perfect time to talk about this band. They're a really big band.
And they're very diverse.
That's right. Yeah, very diverse. Not a band that I typically listen to. As you probably know from watching all the other videos, if you've watched any, I like hard rock, heavy metal, prog, and but I like some jam bands, and I think Tedeschi Trucks kind of fits into that category a little bit. We'll talk about that in a minute. But again, just with all the craziness going on in the country right now with the George Floyd murder a week and a half ago and the protests, I think it's a real apropos time to talk about them. So you want me to give a little history before we get into the songs, our favorite?
Go ahead.
All right, so they were formed in 2010, and any Tedeschi Trucks fans that are watching, you might want to skip this next couple minutes, but I'm just going to give a brief history. But they were formed in 2010. Susan Tedeschi, gorgeous, soulful singer, and Derek Trucks. So both had quite a large history before that. Derek was a child prodigy guitar player, and his uncle, Butch Trucks, was, of course, in the Allman Brothers band. He was a founding member of the Allman Brothers, and Derek himself played in the Allmans for 15 years, from around 99 to 2014. So just imagine, like, this amazing child guitar prodigy growing up around incredible musicians and then getting to play in the Allmans. And I have some other legends that he's played with. He's played with Dylan when he was younger, Joe Walsh, Phil Lesh, and he's just an incredible slide guitarist. And then you had Susan Tedeschi, who had her own career as a singer, gorgeous blues, soulful singer, and they got married in 2001, formed Tedeschi Trucks Band in 2010, and they've been touring ever since then. Yep.
That's right. And what an incredible band with, I believe, up to like 12 people in the band?
Yeah, it's a dozen musicians, and they're, like I said, blues, they're rock.
Yeah, they intertwine so many genres of music, and bands that we love, like King's X, just are able to do that, and it just flows so amazingly, and we just really, really enjoy them. And that we got to see Tedeschi Trucks a couple of times already has been really, really fun.
Right. So speaking a little bit about my personal history is I actually got a chance to see the Allmans about 5 times in the early 2000s. So I saw Derek play with the Allmans at the Beacon Theater. So that was a pretty awesome experience.
Wow.
And then, like Steph said, we saw Tedeschi Trucks for the first time, because we've only really been into Tedeschi Trucks for about a year and a half. We saw them for the first time
at the Beacon.
That's right.
Yeah.
Last October, and I have a little souvenir from that show.
That's
in
right.
October. And then we saw them before all the, COVID-19 quarantine stuff hit in, what was that, February? January?
March.
No, I think it was...
Oh,
we didn't see them in March, no.
Yeah.
We saw them a little earlier than that. We saw them in Red Bank, so that was awesome. Also, just going back to Susan's history a little bit, she actually, in her solo career before Tedeschi Trucks, she opened for some incredible musicians in their own right. B.B. King, Buddy Guy. She opened for the Allmans. So, go figure. And opened for...
the Rolling Stones.
That's right. She opened for the Rolling Stones in 2003. And that actually she was already on the map, but when she opened for the Stones, that really put her on the map. Yeah.
And we do want to mention, of course, the passing of Kofi Burbridge, who was their flautist. He was such a fixture for the band, and his brother Oteil Burbridge also played with them for a couple of years. So it was just very sad to hear that he passed. And actually, when their new album came out, Signs, he actually passed away that same day that the album debuted.
Right. Yeah, that was a big loss, and you know, they've actually been through a few losses because Butch Trucks actually died tragically 3 years ago. And that was also tragic. So they had two really big tragedies in just several years. So it was really tough for the band. And like you mentioned, Kofi and Oteil, his brother, you know, we've seen many times with Dead & Co. And he's got his own little solo career. Oteil, great bassist. And he played with Tedeschi Trucks for, I believe, the first 2 years, maybe like 2010 to 2012, right around there. And then he joined Dead & Co. and did his own thing after that. But, yeah, so that's a little history. Again, we're still getting to know Tedeschi Trucks. They've only got 4 studio albums. They got 1 or 2 live albums. But, you know, we'll go over the songs that we feel are our favorites. And you could agree or disagree. But I'll let Steph go first.
So I want to start with Midnight in Harlem from the album Revelator. That is such a beautiful album, and it's such a beautiful song. It's so melodic, and maybe I'm biased because I am from New York, but it's just, when you think of the summer and a summer night in Harlem, it's just so great to hear, and Susan's voice, I mean, it's just heavenly. So I definitely think you should check it out if you don't know it.
Yep, and Revelator, their first album in 2011, actually won the Grammy for the Best Blues Album that year.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yep. So it's funny, Midnight in Harlem just missed my list. And I think for a lot of casual Tedeschi Trucks fans, and maybe even hardcore Tedeschi Trucks fans, they would list Midnight in Harlem as one of their top songs. It is a gorgeous song, you know, but it just missed my list. It was number 6 on my list, but good choice. All right, so my turn. Okay, so I'm going to say Part of Me from Made Up Mind.
Nice, good one.
Yep, and Made Up Mind was actually their second album, came out in 2013. And Part of Me, I just love the harmonizing. You know, that so many of the band members sing in Tedeschi Trucks. There's at least 3 or 4 members that actually sing. Not Derek, he's just wailing away at the guitar. But, you know, Susan's got an amazing voice. But
also, Mike Matheson, he's also a great singer. Love his voice. Very soulful. Just, wow. He's just meant to sing that kind of soulful blues music.
Yeah. Their interplay with their singing is just amazing between those two, with Susan and him. And then a couple of the other members of the band also sing, and they have amazing voices. I'm like, holy shit, man, they are really amazing. So, yeah, Part of Me from Made Up Mind. One of my top 5s.
Awesome.
All right, let's hope to have a match. We've only had like one match of each of the bands that we've done so far, so let's see if we can do a little better than that.
So I'm going to go with Anyhow from the Let Me Get By album.
Match.
No way.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Awesome. Wow. That's so cool.
Yep.
So I think the album Let Me Get By, I think it is really a solid album, and Anyhow I think is one of the songs that jumps out to me, and just Susan's voice is amazing, and of course just the whole band in general, just the sound, and of course Derek's the guitar. I think it's just one of those really great songs.
Yep. The horns in that song are just amazing. It's just really very, very good song. All right, so we got a match. All right, so now it's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say I'm Gonna Be There from off their latest album, Signs, which came out in 2019. I'm Gonna Be There. I think it's my favorite. It's actually the only song off Signs that I picked in my top 5, even though I really do love Signs. I think it's a great album.
Great song. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. You didn't have it.
I did not have it. No. So what are we, number 3 now? I'm going to go with Made Up Mind from the album from the same name. I think that song has a lot of great energy, definitely makes you want to get up
It's a
and
good
move.
song. Yep.
And I think definitely it's one of the really standout songs from that album. So check it out if you don't know it.
All right. Okay, so no match there. So I'm going to say It's So Heavy from Made Up Mind, same album that you just mentioned. Made Up Mind is a song that really touches me at this time. Because it's just so beautiful, and to me, I tried to see some history about it. It seems political, and I read that it is about climate change, but really I'm going to just cite some lyrics from the song. I'm going to jump around a little bit, but it just really speaks to what's going on with us politically in this country right now. I don't want to get too political, but with the whole George Floyd thing, and just with the people in Washington and our leaders right now kind of ignoring the calls of the people and really letting us down and just being deaf to the tone of the country right now. I think it's just a song that so spoke to me, and it's just amazing lyrics. So I thought we've passed all the lies. You got to feel the pain. You got to see the suffering. Again, this whole George Floyd incident that happened, this murder in the streets, and police brutality, and African Americans in this country just being discriminated against and beaten. It's got to stop. And again, this song, It's So Heavy. You know, I picked it before I even linked it up with this whole George Floyd situation, but this week it just hit home, and I'm like, holy shit, look at these lyrics. It just speaks to the whole situation, and I've gone on enough about It's So Heavy, but it's my second favorite Tedeschi Trucks song, and
Great.
Right now, because maybe next week it's going to be another Tedeschi Trucks song. You know, we all go through our moments, but I think this is always going to be in heavy rotation.
Great. And so I'm going to segue into my fourth pick, and that's going to be with the song called Shame from the Signs album. I mean, and that song, what a great jam of a song. The tempo change, I think it's amazing, and of course Susan's voice, I think is just so wonderful. But definitely the lyrics make me think about what's going on right now with George Floyd's death.
I was going to say, it's another song that speaks to things, yeah.
And, the protests. And so the lyric I'm going to choose is the shame, oh, the hurt they put on me and you. Shame, shame, shame. You know that they're murdering the truth. And I just think, again, it just resonates with what's going on. And I think when you listen to Tedeschi Trucks, these songs, they just really get to your core. And just, the power and emotion of these songs, again, just speaks to, the suffering and everything that's been going on for many, many years. So, for us, it is important to, of course, mention what's been going on, and that we wholeheartedly, feel everyone's pain and anger. And, of course, the hope that this will bring on change that's been long, long overdue. So definitely, it's a song I think you should check out if you don't know it.
Yep, there's a lot of shame to go out there in our country right now, and we're going to get through it, but it's going to be tough. Got to really look in the mirror. And I think of in the song Shame how Derek's slide guitar is just beautiful, and it just complements the sorrow in Susan's voice when she's singing it. And yeah, that's a great song. Didn't make my top 5, but now I'm thinking about it in my head and singing it, and it's a beautiful one, and it does exactly speaks to the situation. So good choice. All right, for my final and favorite Tedeschi Trucks song is Do I Look Worried from Made Up Mind.
Great choice. All right.
Yep. I just Susan screams in that song. She screams the title, Do I Look Worried to You? And it's just so powerful, and you just want to scream out with her. And it's a great song live, and that's another thing is you got to see them live, because like I mentioned, the jam band, They're in the jam band scene also, and they really improvise a lot. And you got to see them live. And not that their studio albums aren't great. You got to check them out, but seeing them live is just a great experience. You got to hear Derek's guitar and Susan's magic and the other 10 members of the band. Yeah, good. So, do I look worried?
Nice.
You didn't have it?
I did not have it, no.
No.
And then my number 5 is going to be Bound for Glory from the album Revelator. You can tell I really love that album. Just, again, strong vocals from Susan. Love the sound. Backing vocals, again, like John said. Just, again, I think it's an incredible song. I think it's just very empowering. And definitely one of the standouts, I think, from the Revelator album.
Very cool. All right, so we had one match,
Yeah.
right, which was Anyhow.
Yeah.
And do you want to mention any other ones? We'll list it at the end, some bonus songs, but I'll just name one or two now.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Just some bonus ones. Okay, so Idle Wind off Made Up Mind, I think is a great one, and it's got some great flute playing by Kofi Burbridge. So check that out, Idle Wind. And you actually mentioned it as one of your favorites, Let Me Get By, which is the title track from the same album.
Yeah.
Really, really good song.
Nice.
Yep. Also want to mention All the World. And a quote from that I also took because of what's going on in the country right now. It says, "Everything must burn before hope can live again. All the world is bleeding. We can heal it if we mean it."
Yeah.
Kind of
Talk
sums
about
things up nicely.
Relevant.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with In Every Heart from the album Let Me Get By. I think you can hear just how Susan's voice is so just much like gospel. And, they really have some of those songs. It's just like, wow. I mean, it moves you. And, the instruments, everything, Derek's guitar playing, just amazing. Another song that I really love is Right on Time on Let Me Get By as well. It really gives you that New Orleans sound, and I love the jazz sound, so definitely check it out if you don't know it.
Yeah. One other bonus is they do a lot of great covers. So I'll just name a couple. Keep On Growing by Derek and the Dominos is a great one. Angel from Montgomery, and they play right into the Dead's Sugaree, which is just beautiful when they do that. I don't think we've ever seen him do it live.
No.
But we've watched it on YouTube a million times. It's just gorgeous. And
Bell Bottom Blues, just a gorgeous cover. Talk about, I think, in my top 5 covers I've seen, that is amazing to see.
Yeah, and that's what's so great about them. They really honor the blues and rock legends that influenced them. Obviously, do a couple Allman covers here and there, but really such a rich history in the band. And go check them out live when this whole COVID-19 hopefully eases up. We can't wait to get back to some live music.
Yeah, we feel really fortunate that we got to see some really great concerts before this all hit. So seeing Tedeschi Trucks was definitely a highlight for us to start the year off.
Oh yeah, so glad we got to see them before everything shut down.
Yeah, and for me it was actually really fun. I think the first time we saw them at the Beacon Theater, that was my first time at the Beacon Theater actually. So that was really a special treat for me. So that was fun.
Great theater.
Yeah.
Great band. Check them out and stay safe, everyone, if you're going to the protests. And just let's make things better, and we got the power to do it. And stay strong.
Stay strong.